How we doing, guys? Welcome back. Another episode of 5 Random Football Guys show. I thought we were going with soccer. We doing football, not soccer? Did we decide? I don't even remember.
I thought it was football in the chat.
Listen, I'm fine with football. I think it's good. I hate to get it. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, I like football anyway, so we're gonna stick with that. We're gonna talk a lot of Champions League. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We got a lot of Champions League talk. Kind of, not really. I think I'm gonna get grilled for the next 30 minutes of my life about how my team doesn't know how to play defense. But we're gonna get right into that. Manny, Paul, Kai, Martin, welcome. Are we ready to do this, guys?
Wait, this isn't the Dolphins pregame show? I'm sorry. Wait, no. I thought it was the Dolphins pregame show. Sorry, I'm gonna leave you guys for the soccer thing. So yeah, sorry about that. I'll be back.
The scroll on the bottom, Manny. The scroll on the bottom.
United.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right. Well,
wait.
We're gonna. I guess.
Sorry. Yeah. No. They told me. Actually, they told me I have to be on this thing. So yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
Sadly, we're not joined by Royal Shepherd today. He's out with. I'm not sure. I don't know what. He's still learning. Okay. He's taking a rest.
Red cards today for nobody.
No red cards. No red cards.
It was overwhelming last week. That's what happened.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So he might have carried the show, but he'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll see. But
this is a democracy, not a monarchy. That's where royals aren't allowed.
Let's get right into it, guys. Let's talk quickly about the Group H action. Manchester United fall to Istanbul. Man, it started off pretty bad pretty quickly. Edin Visca puts in a ball to Demba Ba pretty early on in the game, where Matic was the only defender there, and he was about 5 yards away from the penalty box on the opposing side, and that was our last defender. So that goal was pretty terrible. It started off as bad as you could probably get, and then they go down 2-0 pretty quickly. Martial comes back with a header, and then it's 2-1, and the rest of the game is terrible. My first thought is Ole out. Anybody agree with me?
Should have been out for a while.
No, Ole in, bro. These are the type of results I
love. They're so shaky with him. That's the thing. They're not really. They're having great games, but then they have really bad games.
Yeah, the inconsistency is awful, and I think that has a lot to do with him picking lineups. His lineups. I mean, he's never had. I don't remember the last time Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has picked 2 starting 11s back to back that were the exact same. I don't think I could say almost. Honestly, I don't think it's happened more than once, if it ever has happened. And I think that's part of the problem. Like I saw the lineup and I saw, Donny van de Beek was starting and Juan Mata was coming on. And I know that Juan Mata has had a couple of good games and cup play and things like that. But using van de Beek as a holding midfielder, not what he's used to when he was at Ajax. Juan Mata on the right, he's a lot older. It was a definitely interesting decision. And then when you look at the tactics, I should have sent you the picture to see how bad this defending was. It was completely shambolic. I know Martin loves when I use that word. It was shambolic defending, and they could never get back into the game. I mean, there were chances, but at the same time, when you go down to, it was just completely demoralizing. That's the word. But they still sit at the top of Group H, which is good. They've had 2 good results. They beat PSG. They beat Salzburg. It was a terrible, terrible loss. And if you don't beat Salzburg the week before 5-0 and you don't beat PSG because of Rashford 2-1, you're looking pretty bad. But luckily they've done that. And I mean, it's not looking great for us. And then we go on to play Everton in the weekend, and I'm not excited for that game either. I got to be honest.
You know what I'm hearing? Blah, 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 excuses, blah, blah, blah. It's like I felt like I was Charlie Brown listening to the teacher right there. So much bullshit. The bottom line is this. Manchester United had one job, okay? Go to Turkey, and it's not even like you were playing Galatasaray or Fenerbahce, the 2 most powerful teams in Turkey that have some history. You were playing a team that not even their best players' grandma knows who they are, okay? So you had one job. You beat PSG in Paris. Great job. You kicked us against Leipzig with a 5-0 rout. That was impressive. So you had one job. It was to cement yourself atop the group with 9 points and have a foot and a half inside the round of 16. What do? You go in there and capitulate like the bitchiest team I have ever seen. Because really, PSG loses. Leipzig hands you a golden opportunity in a platter. And what do? You start out losing 2-0 to a team that I'm pretty sure none of you, and not even me, can name a single player from. And they didn't even have a win at the Champions League level before that. And you're Manchester United. Okay? You're Manchester United. I don't care about Solskjaer. I don't care about Rashford. I don't care about if the goalkeeper's sister had a wedding and he had to miss it. I don't care. You're Manchester United. You're supposed to go to Turkey, kick ass, come back, and redeem yourself in the Premier League. Start straightening out the ship there.
But that's been
the fact that you did that in Turkey is embarrassing, and to me, it says that it's just unprofessional, really.
But that's been the story of Manchester United since Sir Alex left. You're a big club, you're supposed to do these things, and it's never fallen the way it's supposed to. Not under David Moyes, not under Louis van Gaal, not under Jose Mourinho. We've never, picked up that big club mentality. We've never gotten to win anything major. I mean, we won a Europa League and I think an FA Cup since then, and that's about it. There's only been one good finish in the league, and it was second place under Mourinho, even though City won the league by like 20 plus points that year, something crazy like that. There's never been anything good happening for United on a European level or on a domestic level. There's no big club there. It's embarrassing. I agree. It's totally embarrassing. You're supposed to be this big club, and you have these losses not week in and week out, but they come and they bite you in the butt. And I mean, like you said, so PSG go down. This is your chance to take a 3-point lead after the first 3 rounds, and you're looking good getting into the group stage, and you absolutely can't do it. And now you're up on goal differential, and now it's going to be more annoying to try and move on. It's just sad. It's sad. It's been like this since 2012, 2013. And it's hard to be a United fan because we are so inconsistent. But I guess Edin Vishka and Demba Ba are having a good time. I know he just rub the Champions League patch on his jersey. Yeah.
What does the Bayern fan think about this?
I mean, we said last week, or at least I said, that Leipzig, they find ways to come back even with no matter what. They were able to beat PSG, and now they sit at least tied. Obviously, only goal difference is the one bringing them down right now, but they're tied at 6 points with Manchester United. So, I mean, it just puts you where this is a group where those top 3 people, one of them is going to eventually fall. If PSG can make up some slack, then it's going to be either Leipzig or Man United, and then at that point, I mean, you can't lose to Istanbul. Like, you can't. It's embarrassing. Like, it really is.
Leipzig, and I want to say this too, PSG were playing without both Mbappe and Neymar on Wednesday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. But yeah, there was no Neymar, no Mbappe for whatever reason. I think there was just small training injuries. I don't think it was anything major.
Which is going to happen because of everything that's been happening. I mean, imagine they're playing league games on Saturday, Sunday, Friday, even, and then they're coming back Tuesday or Wednesday playing their Champions League matches. It's going to I mean, it happened to Bayern. Like, it's going to be happening. Yeah,
it was. So I think now there's a 2 or 3 week break until we get back into this. So a lot of those midweek games are the Champions League games are not going to be played for the next 2 weeks. So I mean, I guess it's good for clubs at the same time. But then again, when a team is so inconsistent like Manchester United, it kind of worries me because I don't know how we're going to get back in form. I don't know who we play other than Everton past the weekend, but those Premier League clubs, I'm not sure how they improve.
All right, so this will be my quick 2 cents. I think every big club does have not an opportunity, but they're gonna have a loss like this no matter what happens. Listen, at the end of the day, they are human; they're not robots. Well, what doesn't help United is that they're coming off a loss to Arsenal. So obviously, you'd want, if you're a United fan, you'd want them to win on Wednesday. Obviously, I can only pronounce Istanbul. I can't pronounce the last name after that. Once again. Yeah, whatever he said. So then, listen, I understand the frustration, but you saying there's a couple of weeks off. So on Saturday, you play at Everton, and then the week after that, you have West Brom. So you got 2 games in hand before you play Istanbul again at Old Trafford. This is going to be key for them because the last thing you want is for PSG or Leipzig to go anywhere or to carry momentum heading into that match with you in Istanbul is Tuesday, November 24th, the week of Thanksgiving. Last thing you don't want is for you guys to be trending downward and either Leipzig or PSG going upwards, because you can see yourself very quickly going from the first place team very quickly down to third or fourth. The way that Leipzig, listen, we know Leipzig's going to battle. No matter who they play, no matter where they are, no matter who their coach or players are, they're going to play for 90-plus minutes no matter what it takes. And PSG, you don't really know what you're going to get, but if you're Manchester United, you don't want to play with fire. So you need to somehow, some way, create that magic again at Everton, and then you play home against West Brom. And Ole just has to get it right, somehow figure it, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know why he was coach, right? Or why he got picked, right? I mean, he has a great relationship with the club. He has a great relationship with with the Blazers, and he was part of that great run and whatnot. The players respect him. The team, the whole team management respect them. But at some point, you need to start getting results, and this is not the way that you'd want to start.
I'll end it with this.
I have a proposal for everybody. Let me know what you think. Totally reasonable proposal too, which is let's get Antonio Brown to play against Everton. I think his explosiveness will be a big boon to.
What position? What position?
Oh, he will totally be a winger. Going
okay,
right wing, left wing.
So take up Juan Mata and put in Antonio Brown. It's 3 points on the weekend. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think it has a Tom Brady seal of approval, and the Glazers will love that. It's only at what time does Manchester United play against Everton? Let me see here.
7:30 in the morning.
7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m.
It's on a Sunday or on a Saturday? It's November 7th. That's
Saturday morning.
Okay, so logistically it's a problem there, like where it may be complicated. It may be complicated, but I think it's doable.
Okay.
And imagine the headlines. Antonio Brown does it all.
That's exactly what the Glazers want. They want more headlines and they want more money and sponsorships, and that's all they care about because they're being traded on the New York Stock Exchange. That's Manchester United for you.
No, but in all seriousness, remember when Manchester United used to be the big boy in town and Manchester City used to be a nobody?
Yes.
Be careful, because the way that you have played, the way that the Manchester United has played for the past half decade plus, Manchester City is doing what the Clippers tried to do in LA in basketball. It's menacing, it's threatening to overtake Manchester United in popularity. It's not happening yet, but if you go without major titles for longer than, let's say, 2 or 3 more years, and City keeps getting hardware, especially if they get the Champions League trophy they crave under Guardiola, watch out, because the popularity could switch really quickly. And that will be a problem that nobody wants in the Red Devils, I forgot the word I was going to use, but yeah, I had a word in mind and then I forgot it. But yeah, the Red Devils don't want it, period. You don't want to be overtaken in popularity by City because you don't want people to be like, oh, remember the last time United was relevant? Back in 2001 when they had Beckham, or in 1999 when they had the amazing comeback against Bayern Munich. So you don't want to be last century's team. You want to be this decade's team.
I totally agree. So I mean, we're gonna. My last statement is you have to make a statement against Istanbul on the 24th or whatever day it was, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the 24th. And if you don't, then you start to worry, because any result that you see between the Leipzig and the PSG game is going to be threatening to your group, your last 16 chances. Let's move on. There was a really big game. Not that it made many people move up in the standings, but Real Madrid and Inter Milan. I think it ended up being 3-2 to Real Madrid. It was a very exciting game, I would say. They were kind of. I was working and I saw a goal here out of nowhere, and then it was 3-2 or 2-1. It's crazy stuff in the first half. Paul, did you get to watch that game? What did you think about Real Madrid?
It was shaking in both sides, to be honest. Man, Varane was getting run out of town. He was beat so many times. I kind of felt like, Inter almost had like 3 other chances. Like Inter should have won probably like 5-2, to be honest.
And Paul, that was without Lukaku.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not good.
And even with Real's 2 goals in the first half, they kind of came off big miscues from Inter. I mean, there was the whole Hakimi
Yeah.
thing where they thought Mendy fouled them, which is 50-50 to me. I mean, you can call it either way, but I know it's just a nice touch by Benzema on that. And plus with Ramos and getting that header, it kind of was a chance. But man, I am still very iffy on this Real team. Man, I feel like Zidane's still tending to play his favorites, but even Ramos is a great defender, but man, he was still having his lapses. He's still kind of that mentality that he can win any ball even when he's out of position, and that's kind of screwed though. I think that kind of ended up leading to one goal. I think by Lautaro. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
Um,
it did. Which made it then 2-1 after he had scored.
Exactly. I mean, thank God that Rodrigo turns into Superman when he plays in the Champions League. But if it wasn't for that, I mean, I didn't love. I mean, the win was crucial, but I didn't really love the overall team performance. So.
Yeah. So then I'll get my 2 quick cents in. Listen, a win is a win. Listen, you're not always gonna win pretty. You're not gonna always lose nice. Having said that, though, once again, the miscues of the back, I still am very cautious about. I don't have issues with Sergio Ramos. Listen, for 90% of the time, I'm going to know what he's going to bring to us. It's the Varane situation that has always gotten me kind of iffy. And once again, I'm going to bring it up. When does Florentino go out there and start looking for Ramos's replacement? I'm not saying to replace Sergio, but you're going to need somebody sooner or later because, unfortunately, as we've seen, Varane is not it. I've yet to see Militao at least play on a consistent basis. Once again, we got gifted a goal. I'll take it. And it seems like Benzema is always he's always on the end of those goals that the other team gives us, per se, right? And you know what? Listen, before the Barca game, I was worried. Of course, you beat them, you come back, then you beat Esti Huesca, or however you pronounce that team in Spain. And then obviously you knew that you had to come up with a victory at home once again. I know it's not in the Bernabeu, but you needed to come with a victory, especially in the group of the Champions League. The way that you were heading into it, our last games in Champions League hasn't been quite convincing. But listen, you get the win, but this has to be concerning to the point that Zidane can't always count on Vinicius coming off the bench or starting him for 80 minutes and coming off. Okay, here you go, Rodrigo, go back out there. That's not going to get it done. And at some point, Benzema's legs are going to run out. There's no replacement for him. I was hoping that Cavani could at least come in to do that at least, but there's no other number 9 striker up there. So Benzema's going to have to be it. I don't see this team going out there getting another guy unless, something pops up. Marcelo can't play 90 minutes anymore. Mendy looks like sometimes he looks great offensively and defensively he looks lost. And the more I see Lucas Vazquez play, right wing defender, I really don't know how much that's gonna help either. So it just feels like at this point we're sticking together like glue, right? But in strings. And at one point the string is gonna cut. Right? So like at one point the string itself that's holding the glue is gonna cut and everything's gonna come crashing down. And I hope that Zidane's ready for that, man, because the team didn't do anything to get better. And all they did was get rid of Gareth Bale, get rid of James Rodriguez, and both those guys are showing up in their own prospective squads. And that's sad to see because, especially James, like, are you kidding me? Like, the man had an opportunity to become something once again that he wanted to. And I understand we signed him big after the World Cup and whatever, but, the only guy I like at midfield, and I don't want to ever question his play, is, Valverde to me is the future of Real Madrid. I love Casemiro, but at some point his legs are going to run out. The man has played more minutes than I could even count. So that's my 2 cents in. Our next game on Sunday is at Valencia. That's never easy. And then it's Valencia, Villarreal, and then Inter again. I mean, if 3 matches right now in consecutive fashion don't tell you where your team stands after Wednesday, November 26th, I don't know which other the game does. To me, Inter should have won, but Inter's going to be Inter, right? Inter never wins these games, unfortunately. They could play well for 90 minutes and still lose 1-0. So
the other result in that group was Mönchengladbach beating Shakhtar 6-0, and they will go top of the group. Kai, how do you see this group rounding out at the end of 6 games?
I mean, right now I think it's 5-4-4-1 or 5-4-4-2, right?
5-4-4-2, right?
5-4-4-2. Hey, listen, if Gladbach can continue to outperform, then who knows? I don't think if Inter continues to play the way that they are, I don't think they're going to get into it. But I wanted to comment on the stuff that you were saying, Manny, about kind of like finding replacements. I feel like that's something that Bayern was dealing with a lot. After Jupinkis left, after the treble that they won in 2013, it was a lot of, even with Pep couldn't get them over the top, and it was always playing players who were past their prime or playing players who just had prestige at the club just to play them, and they weren't producing. Yeah, they were winning the Bundesliga because that's just what's going to happen. I think that we all know that, and we're all accustomed to it by now. But they were just playing players who didn't have their legs anymore, and they were doing the same thing when they had Ancelotti. They did the same thing with Kovac, and it was like they weren't trusting youth. They didn't want to put any players out there, and you saw Hansi Flick do it. I mean, he went out there and he made the change and kind of had the situation where they could put the players that needed to play in and play to their strengths. And I feel like for Madrid, that's something that's going to have to happen. Sometimes, even if they mean so much to the club, you got to let them go. The other thing I was going to say is maybe Toni Kroos should stop worrying about Bayern and worry about Real Madrid, because he comments about them every single week. Just to be perfectly fair, he literally comments about Bayern like every week.
Well, he came from there, and he has a prestigious history with them. So
yeah, because they didn't want to give him a bigger role. But I like Mönchengladbach. I liked them last year in the Bundesliga. I like Marcus Thuram, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. But there's another player that plays in the midfield that I like a lot. I will try to find it. Dennis Zakaria, but I know that I think he's injured right now. I feel like they're just going to be the next ones to challenge in the Bundesliga, and if they could have a good, Champions League run and hopefully get in and stay top or at least finish second, that would be great. Just because I feel like there's certain Bundesliga teams that'll have these runs like they're doing now in terms of like looking good on paper, and then they'll just fall, and it just brings less credibility to the league. So I would hope that Gladbach can continue to perform.
Let me tell you this. The most interesting thing to me is not the fact that Sergio Ramos looks old or that Real Madrid looks fragile. They did look fragile in the fact that they were leading 2-0 at home, and Inter came back without fear. And they won by scoring when Inter was playing its best. But to me, the most interesting part of it is how fragile the Spanish teams look. I mean, Barcelona has 9 points, but they're middling at best. Real Madrid, they bounce back against Inter, but they might lose in Milan. And if Borussia does what it's supposed to do against Shakhtar at home, then it's a world of trouble, and nobody's going to remember what happened this week. They got to get at least a point in Milan, because Inter is capable of scoring a win there, and then you will have Borussia with 8 points, Inter with 5, Real Madrid with 4, and Shakhtar with 4. And all of a sudden, Real Madrid's fate is out of its hands. You can't allow yourself to lose if you're Real Madrid at Milan. You have to get at least a point, no matter what. And then Atletico Madrid, regardless of how they might seem destined to finish second in their Group A with Bayern and Lokomotiv and Salzburg, they are having to battle in every single match. They tied in Moscow the other day, and Luis Suarez seems to be just as astray as Cavani is as far as Uruguayan players in the Champions League. They don't seem to be their former prime selves. They shouldn't be. They're getting older, but still, it's about how fragile the Spanish teams look. So it may be a new world order sooner than you would think in the Champions League. That's the most interesting thing to me. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just overreacting to the first 3 matches of the first round. But the Spanish teams look really fragile, and just like we didn't see Spanish teams in the semifinals of the last edition of the Champions League, hey, we may not see Spanish teams in the quarterfinals of this edition. You never know.
I wanted to go to Group A next, and I wanted to talk about not only Bayern, but that draw that Atletico had with Lokomotiv, that was 1-1. And then you look at Lokomotiv's past couple games before that, it was a 2-1 loss to Bayern, but it took a Kimmich goal in the 80th minute for them to win. It was extremely competitive. And I mean, Kimmich, by the way, what a player. Honestly, one of the top 3 midfielders in the world right now, I would say. And then their first game was
wait, man, you got some disagreement with that, bro? I saw you.
No. Okay. I was actually doing like this because he's absolutely wonderful to watch with and without the ball.
And And then their first game was a tie with Salzburg. Lokomotiv are looking to be competitive, and no, I cannot name anything about Lokomotiv. I don't know one player. I don't know who the manager is, anything about him. But they have been competitive for 3 games straight, and I just don't know. I mean, I hope that they can carry it on because it's always fun to see teams like that be competitive. But they have another. I mean, they're going to go back and play Atletico again. If they can if they can manage 3 points out of that with the way Atletico is playing. They can make a real case for getting onto the round of 16. It would be kind of shocking. So go ahead.
I was going to say the one thing I find most interesting about all this is that I feel, and I think I was talking about it before, the score from the Tuesday game for Bayern and Salzburg doesn't show the actual game. Bayern won 6-2, but they should have lost that game. They should have. Like, even when they were up 2-1 from the own goal, they should have lost that game. They were weak. They showed it off the rip. And from all of that, 2-1 win against Lokomotiv, the 6-2, which still doesn't show what the game actually was. Their easiest game was against Atletico Madrid in the first game. How is it that this big club, as Martin was alluding to with the Spanish clubs, how are they the easiest opponent in a group where you have 2 teams where it looked like, all right, yeah, maybe they'll have a win or a draw somewhere, but it's going to be Madrid and Bayern going through. It looks like now like anything is really possible because Madrid's just not showing up.
Do you realize how lucky you are that you're complaining about a team that struggled to score 6 goals? Do you realize how
but it hasn't been this. But it hasn't been like this for a while. That's the thing. I mean, like, it was always failure after failure, or
Okay.
No, I agree with him. I agree. Domestically, it's totally different. Domestically, it's
totally different for Bayern. Right. But ever since that 2013 with Jupp Heynckes, it hasn't been the same in Europe. It hasn't. I mean, they couldn't get over the hump with Real Madrid, although there's been a lot of offside goals from Cristiano Ronaldo that were called. So, we'll leave that where it is. But they were never able to get past the hump. Pep wasn't able to get past the hump. Carlo Ancelotti wasn't able to get past the hump. Niko Kovac, I mean, who even cares about him? Like, it took a lot for Bayern to actually get the right coach in. Like, besides 2013, it's just been, they're getting there, but they can't get over the hump. So now, it's nice that I can, bitch and moan about a 6-2 win, but like,
you guys just won the Champions League.
And I cried that day. I cried like a baby. It's on Twitter. You can find it.
Also, let's mention, since we're up against the clock here, let's also mention how Liverpool, a world-class showing against Atalanta, 5-0 against Atalanta. Let's remember, they're an offensive powerhouse, and they didn't score any goals at home against Liverpool. That was beyond world-class soccer. That was ultra instinct soccer.
I'm not going to say anything good about Liverpool, so don't come to me on this.
And also, let me say how disappointed I am in Marseille. I expected way more out of them, and 3 losses in 3 matches with no goals scored and 7 allowed. I mean, they are the biggest disappointment to me in the first round. I expected Benedetto and company to be way more prevalent, and for them to not have scored a single goal in 270 minutes, just wow.
Martin, I have to completely agree with you. I think Andre Villas-Boas is way over his head. Either his tactics are not working because they have the players that create the work. They have the guys to create chances and to go and not score goals at all, especially in the whole competition so far. That's very unacceptable for the only French team that's ever won the Champions League. They're okay in the French league, but we all know that it's all about PSG and everybody else, right? When it comes to that, but for them not to perform to a much better standard, and I know their fan base is not happy because it's been years since they've been able to get to this platform, and for you to be able to get these type of players that are young. And they're young midway per se, but they should be able to at least create chances and to get on the board. And their performances have been absolutely abysmal.
And barely 2 months ago, they were playing against PSG, beating them 1-0 in that match with the brouhaha between Paredes and Benedetto, and they looked formidable. They made me think that they were going to make noise in the Champions League. So for them to make such a thud in a group that has Manchester City, okay, but then Porto and Olympiacos, they shouldn't be that far above you as far as level of play, and it's just been sad. And Porto is already with 6 points. They so now they have to overcome a 6 point deficit with 9 points to play. I don't think that's happening. The most they can aspire to is third place and making it to the Europa League.
Yeah, and
And in
it
that
doesn't
group,
help.
in
One more thing. It also doesn't help when you're fourth in the league and your goal differential is -7. You ain't gonna
That's
come
not
back
great.
from that. You
That's
ain't gonna
not-
come back from that.
The last thing I'll just say about Man City, and I'll never talk good about them, but they're going to walk away with this group. Even, I mean, they didn't necessarily struggle. It was kind of like, I don't say they should have lost against Olympiacos, but it was 1-0 for a really long time, and they were struggling to find chances and get shots on target for a long time. And then down towards the end of the game, where Olympiacos got tired, then they go and score 2 to make it 3-0, and it looks like a comfortable win. But for a good 70-75 minutes there, it wasn't the greatest performance from City, and they're still going to be able to walk away with the group because of disappointing performances from Marseille, and I guess Porto, they've been okay as well, but it's almost too easy for City. They got a pretty lucky draw, especially with the teams that they're playing and the form that they're in.
Yeah. Really quickly, guys, before we end. So we all saw that Ronaldo came back with a vengeance after not being able to play against Messi. And, obviously he's missed some time. Do you think, though, with him coming back and the way that he's, his whole charisma, per se, do you think that this can finally lift up Juventus in this own competition? Not talking about Serie A, but I'm talking about just in this competition where they seem to always struggle towards the end just to even make it to the final.
Oof, that's an interesting question. Obviously, there's a long way to go in this competition. Yes, they're going to get out of it. They're going to get out of the group. They're up by they're up by 5 points, and it's not even. I don't think it's even a question.
No.
But Ronaldo, and just to speak on his character and charisma, when he said, I'm back. He scores 2 goals in Serie A after coming back from COVID, and coming on as a sub, scoring twice. He goes, I'm back. This is me. This is Ronaldo post COVID. I can still do this. Don't worry about it. But when it comes to Juve in the Champions League, yeah, I mean, they haven't been the most lucky team, I guess, and they haven't been able to perform down the stretch. Right. They fall off a cliff once they hit a certain round of the knockout stage. So if there's anybody in the world that's able to do it, Ronaldo is that guy. But I want to say one message to Pirlo. I know you're watching. Play Weston McKennie alongside Rabiot. He's an American. I get it. It doesn't always work out, but this guy is class. Play him in the midfield.
By the way, guys, also before we leave, I want each one of us to make a prediction for this Sunday in the MLS. Does Inter Miami pull off a miracle and make it to the playoffs, or is it going to be a disappointment if they don't make the playoffs? Are you going to be disappointed? I want a prediction, and if it's going to be a disappointment if they make the playoffs or they don't.
Let me put this on a platter for you. So they have to win, and then along with winning, Chicago needs to lose or draw. 2 of these 3 things need to happen: Chicago loss or draw, Montreal loss or draw, Atlanta loss or draw. Oh man, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be stressing out, man. You have no idea. I don't know why you would do this to me right now, Martin. I didn't want to think about it until I was actually at the stadium. I think they win. I think they beat Cincinnati, but I don't know if the results around the league are going to be able to. Oh, man, I'm stressing out already, man. I don't know what to say. I cannot predict these 3 games because MLS is just a whirlwind of a league. It doesn't make any sense at all. There's no consistency. I mean,
the MLS lacks star power.
Yes.
All right. So what's your prediction?
I think they win, but they get unlucky with results around the league and they miss the playoffs by a point or something like that.
Paul?
I think they squeeze a 1-0 win out of this, but I'm with Austin where I kind of there's so many dominoes that need to fall for it to work. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed because this is the inaugural season, but you kind of got to consider that they do have a good amount of star power on the team. Higuain is still a decent. I mean, say what you want about his form, but he's still one of the best. Well, I don't like saying that either. He's still in the
MLS though.
Yeah, Matuidi is a great midfielder too, and it's just it's the inaugural season. I'll give him the quote unquote benefit of the doubt since it's still they're still kind of working things out. But I don't think they get in.
What's going? You wanna go there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we win on Sunday, but we won't make it because of the results, and it's gonna come back to how many one goal losses have we had, man. It just seems like it's the same result every single week. You battle for 90 minutes. You play your butt off in against Montreal. You play your butt off against Dallas. You play your butt off against Nashville. You play your butt off against Atlanta. So many other Toronto. There's so many games that you could have said you had an opportunity to win, and what ends up happening, you end up losing by a goal. And those are critical points. And at least if you tie right now, you wouldn't be in this scenario, man. I just feel like Higuain and Matuidi, they came a little bit too late. I would have liked to see them at the beginning of the season. Maybe that could have been a difference. Who knows? But it's those one-score losses, man, and it should be something that they should try to figure out as a team, as a whole, because so many mental breakdowns defensively, too many on-man rushes the other way. Like those are things that, listen, especially in this league, everything's going to be tight niche. Everything's going to be tight. You need to be able to defend better, help out Pizarro, man. Like you need to come up with another scheme of some sort that doesn't have Pizarro getting the ball from his box going to the other end for 90 minutes. Just little things like that. That listen, for a first club, for its first year, they're going to learn from. They're going to get better at. But like I said, they'll win on Sunday, but it's a little bit too late, and that's the way I see it.
Okay.
I disagree with all of them. I don't think that they're going to make it. I think that they'll win, and I just think that the results aren't going to be favorable because it's just a miracle that they need, and I don't think they're going to get it.
The thing is, Montreal play DC, and that's very favorable for Montreal. And then I think Atlanta play New York City FC, and man, I can't even remember. I think somebody plays Columbus Crew. I think.
Let me go and pop it up for you right now.
I think Chicago plays Columbus Crew, or that might be flipped around. There's two favorable matchups there, which are good, but
Columbus plays Atlanta.
Right. Okay.
Columbus plays Atlanta. Chicago plays NYFC. And DC Montreal.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Bottom line, we have 213 electoral votes in Miami. We need to win Pennsylvania. We need to win Georgia. We need to win North Carolina. But I am not going to give up hope. I say that this whole MLS season has been a fraud where, where are the stolen points, okay? The stolen points that the Inter Miami got taken from them. I demand an investigation on the back line of Inter Miami because it has been such a fraud, and I can't believe that the MLS would allow for the soccer system to leave Inter Miami out of the playoffs. In fact, I declare victory over the whole MLS season. Inter Miami is the champion of the MLS.
I love that.
It's over.
2024.
I am declaring it right now. No, but
Alonso out, Martin in. Alonso out, Martin in.
Kidding aside, regardless of the result, I think Inter Miami did a great job this year of becoming relevant, of bringing brand names to the squad, of trying to be better, of not just settling for we're just an expansion team and we're here to fill out the league and to play out the string. They genuinely tried to get better after starting 0-5. They made strides, and I expect next year to be even better, even if they don't make the playoffs. It was a successful season just out of engagement from the fans like Manny and the rest of the Barra Brava that has really shown their passion. And imagine when they get to come back to the stands next year. It's going to be a party. It's going to be the best party in the MLS. So
Martin, and let's not forget, man, some wins against Orlando, a win against Atlanta. Like those are your rivals that you got to be able to show them that you're here to stay. So that as well, I think. After an awful performance in Orlando, you come back, you somehow, some way, you get it together. Listen, it looked all bad after Orlando. Let's be honest here. That tournament did not make us look any good at all. Like, who the hell is this team? Is there even a lower league where this team can go to? But to be able to bounce back and to be able to show some resistance and some resilience, I thought that was very important. You beat Orlando twice. You beat Atlanta in Atlanta, and you were competitive, man. You were competitive throughout every single match after the bubble, per se. So, listen, it's progress. You got to go step by step, and next year has to be better, though, without question.
Manny, am I going to see you there on Sunday?
I will not be in Cincy. I'll be in Philadelphia.
Well, there. Well, we could have brought something great, but it is what it is. We're gonna be there at Inter Miami. I'm gonna be there at Inter Miami Stadium. Maybe post some other videos of how I completely just go crazy and lose my voice. If we end up making the playoffs, I don't know how I'm gonna take it. But Martin, you are being a lot nicer than a lot of fans are. I will say that. A lot of fans are taking this as a complete disappointment of a.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea what's going on, bro. I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying. I don't know what happened, man.
This is a complete failure, and this is the ideal way to go out. Okay, yeah, let's go, guys.
Wait.
I
I have one thing I wanted to bring up. I think that this is great to also like kind of bring up at the end. Do you guys think that the MLS needs a relegation system?
Yes.
And
But it'll never happen. It'll never happen.
I've been banging the drum for relegation and the Copa Libertadores. Please bring MLS to the Libertadores, to the Sudamericana, and once and for all, raise the level of a league that's still irrelevant at the world level. Okay.
I bring that up because I wrote an article about that like a long time ago, and my editor told me straight up nobody cares about the MLS, and I looked at him and I said that's the exact reason why, because they need a relegation system.
Yeah, you're right.
The best match I saw this week was in the Copa Sudamericana, Lanús Sao Paulo. Lanús had won the first leg 3-2. They were winning 2-1 after the half. Sao Paulo ties it 2-2. In the 87th minute, they score an own goal, 3-2, and it was going to penalty kicks. 90th minute, Sao Paulo scores again, 4-2. The Brazilians are going crazy at home. They think they're going to advance. And all of a sudden, 1 minute later, the Lanús scores in the last play of the match, 4-3. It was just amazing. And that kind of craziness is something that you can't replicate. The international just zaniness of it all is something that you can't replicate at a domestic level. And I think Americans are just used to the NBA and the NFL and baseball being very much in the United States. The NHL has Canada, but that's a little different. I promise you, the things that you're going to feel if you join the Libertadores and the Sudamericana, the outrage, the joy, the sheer just shame of being robbed of 3 points by a localist Brazilian ref that will just call a phantom penalty kick against you in Ecuador, and it's gonna be beautiful. Okay.
I agree, but in the CONCACAF Champions League is not enough. There aren't teams in there that like other than the Mexican teams. Like I don't. The CONCACAF Champions League is not enough. So if you were to join a competition like the Sudamericana or Libertadores, holy crap! But MLS won't do it. They won't. They
just need something to bring it the popular. I mean, I don't know if you guys will necessarily like the last time that the MLS, in my opinion, was like the past couple of years was so big was the fact that Zlatan was here and he just brought all this attention. Like that's just what it was. Like even if you didn't like him, even though at times Vela was outperforming him, it's just like, dude, he brings all the attention to the league.
Guys, I would pay big bucks to see Miami, LAFC, Toronto go to La Bombonera, man. Oh man, that'd be just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Imagine the gate receipts for Inter Miami Flamengo or
dude. No,
I don't know, or freaking Inter Miami and Cruzeiro, Palmeiras, anybody, bro.
Imagine it's a sixth match of the group stage. Inter Miami needs a win against Santos to make it to the round of 16, and you have a packed house, Beckham in the suite, and the whole world is watching.
It would be
or even better, Inter Miami having to go beat América de Cali. Or something like that.
It would be so good for MLS, but first I think you need to have a promotion relegation system before you even think about that stuff, because there's no real competition. You're playing the same people every
season. Their youth teams play in other leagues. It's so stupid. It
doesn't make sense. We can do a whole other hour show on Pro Rel in USA. Like we can do it. And by the way, Kai, send me that article. I want to read it. It
never got published, but I'll share it with you though.
Perfect, awesome. So yeah, but you can go on for a long time.
Let's post it on 5 reasons. Let's post it on 5 reasons. That's
or we can all collectively write a whole new one. We can use that for our base, and we can all just we could do a lot. We could do a lot. Hopefully Don Garber and the MLS doesn't get too mad and I can actually keep on going to Inter Miami games because they might yell at me or something like that because MLS is so particular and strict about their own crap.
I personally want to piss them off as much as possible. So
all right, you know what? I'm on board. Let's do it.
typical Argentinian fan, man. Trying to piss off the world, bro.
With that, guys, I think that was a pretty fantastic show. We are going to go again next Wednesday, despite the Champions League.
Really quickly, though, some key matches are coming up in the Champions League. Obviously, it'll be in 2 weeks. Dortmund versus Club Brugge. I don't think nobody cares. Dynamo Kiev
versus Saturday.
Oh, that Classico. Yeah, that's not a Classico anymore. Manchester United in Istanbul. Don't forget about that one happening on the 24th on Tuesday. PSG Leipzig, and then Wednesday, obviously, you'll have the Inter of Milan and Real Madrid. And let's see if Marseille can finally score a goal at home against Porto. Huh? That's happening.
No, but next Wednesday we're talking World Cup qualifying.
Right.
That's gonna be
yes.
Don't even include Germany because
wait, we're doing Wednesday or Thursday? Because if we do Thursday, I can talk USA Wales. I think they play Thursday.
Whatever you guys want.
All right, Thursday's fine. It'll get me ready right before Peru Chile.
There you go.
Le. Viva Chile.
Sí, le. Martin se fue.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Peru. I remember when we scored 6 goals on you guys. That was beautiful. I wasn't even.
He's gone again.
Oh my God.
And I remember also when we beat you 2-1 to go to the World Cup. And I remember.
He's gone. He's done. With that, guys, I guess we'll see you guys next Thursday. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
No,
listen,
there's
pissing off the world.
No. There's a red card that has not been given out tonight, and Royal normally does it, but I'm gonna do it tonight. Martin Bader, red card, my friend. There, now we can go.
You're suspended for 1 week.
We can go. All right, guys.
Oh man,
next week.
Appreciate it, everyone. See you guys next Thursday, 9:30, right here, 5 Reasons Sports. Make sure you tune in. Martin, you want to say goodbye?
Nos vemos. Adiós.
There you go.
Bye, everybody.